Have you ever had one of those moments that just seems to stretch into an eternity? Or, a flash of intuition that feels like it came straight from the future? We're all taught to think of time as this simple, straight line, but we're about to explore a truth that's been whispered by mystics for millennia and is now being echoed in the most advanced physics labs on Earth. And believe me, it's a truth that changes everything we think we know.
Look, we all live by the clock, right? It chops our lives into these neat little boxes, seconds, minutes, hours. And it tells a story of a past that's gone forever and a future that hasn't happened yet. But what if that story, probably the most fundamental story we tell ourselves, what if it just isn't true?
What if time isn't a river at all? What if it's more like a vast, interconnected ocean, a place where the past, the present, and the future all exist at once? We're going to see how two completely different ways of knowing, ancient wisdom and modern quantum science, are arriving at the exact same, totally mind-bending conclusion. Let's start by looking way, way back, to a time before clocks ruled our world.
All right, first up, let's take a journey back. I'm talking long before atomic clocks, long before even mechanical ones, to a time when our connection to the universe was, well, a lot more direct and experiential. In places like ancient Egypt, they had a word for this living essence of time, Heka. And it wasn't just an idea, it was seen as this palpable energy current. So the practitioners in these traditions, they didn't just sit back and watch time go by. Nope, they actively engaged with it. They really believed it was a pliable force they could shape and influence.
You have to think of these incredible symbols less like art and more like cosmic circuit diagrams. Seriously. They were seen as technologies of consciousness, designed to help a person enter a state where the rigid walls between past, present, and future just dissolve, a state where all moments become accessible.
So the crucial point here is this. For the mystic, time wasn't some kind of prison, it was a field of potential. The now wasn't just a fleeting instant passing by, it was this incredibly powerful nexus point. Now, this idea of a powerful moldable now might sound like pure fantasy. But what's absolutely astonishing is that thousands of years later, in the super sterile environments of physics labs, scientists would stumble upon a vision of reality that is, well, strikingly similar.
Okay, so let's jump forward thousands of years. We're going from ancient temples to modern laboratories, where physicists are uncovering a reality that is, frankly, just as strange and magical.
So first up is this concept of the block universe, which comes right out of Einstein's theory of relativity. Here's the best way to picture it. Think of an old movie reel. Every single frame of that movie, the beginning, the middle, the end, it all exists simultaneously right there on the reel. Our experience of time, that feeling of now, is basically just the projector's light shining on one frame at a time. The whole story, it's already there. We just experience it in sequence.
And of course, it gets even weirder. Quantum mechanics comes along and introduces this wild idea of retrocausality. There are these bizarre experiments like the delayed choice quantum eraser that actually show that a measurement you make on a particle in the future can seemingly change what happened to its connected twin in the past. It just completely shatters our whole idea of cause and effect being a one-way street.
It's really an incredible visual rhyme across millennia, isn't it? On one side, you have intuition and spiritual practice. On the other, you have hard math and experimentation. And yet both are pointing to the same fundamental truth, that reality has this hidden, geometric, and deeply interconnected structure to it.
So the key takeaway here is that when you get down to the most fundamental level of reality, that neat separation we see between past, present, and future, it totally dissolves. They're actually in this constant, dynamic conversation with each other. Okay, so this all leads to a huge question, right? If reality is this interconnected web where all time exists at once, then why on earth do we experience it as a straight line?
Well, the answer seems to be right inside our own heads, our brain. This image is a fantastic metaphor for it. You could say our consciousness acts like a lens, or a prism. It takes this overwhelming, infinite light of a simultaneous reality and splits it into a manageable spectrum. A story with a beginning, middle, and end. And it makes sense. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism. To get around in the world, we need to understand cause and effect. And for that, you need a linear timeline.
So here's the side-by-side. It's basically a functional filter. Our brain sacrifices the full, dazzling complexity of reality for a simplified, linear user interface that helps us function and survive. It's an incredibly useful illusion for sure, but an illusion it remains. Okay.
So now let's bring these two really powerful perspectives, the ancient mystic and the modern physicist, together into one profound idea.
This is the heart of it all. The now. The present moment isn't some razor's edge between a dead past and an unborn future. It's the active, vibrant, living place where everything converges.
Just look at this. This isn't just a pretty picture. It's a model of reality. This is the living present. Think of it like a crucible, where the echoes of the past, the pull of the future, and the whispers of all other possibilities meet and are forged into the very fabric of the exact moment you're experiencing right now.
This quote just captures it perfectly. See, destiny isn't some fixed path we're forced to walk down. It's the active, ever-changing point of convergence, which means this present moment holds way more power and potential than we ever imagined.
So, the final thought I want to leave you with is this. If influences are flowing into this moment from all directions of time, it means our choices, our awareness, our intentions right now, they aren't just creating the future. They are literally in conversation with all of time. That changes everything, doesn't it? The present is no longer something that just happens to you. It becomes the active point of creation, the place where you are in constant dialogue with all of reality. So the only question left is, what will you say?